2 years ago, I called all the witches on TikTok frauds. I said, your hexes and magic, it doesn't work, it's not real.
There seems to be a trend on the internet lately where people are increasingly asking witches to cast spells, curses, or hexes on them, either to test whether they're real or fake or to see if they actually work. But before I share the following examples, just remember what Father Vincent Lampert said before.
But eventually, if the devil is going to bestow a favor, if you will, he's going to expect to be paid. And all people that turn to the world of the occult can quickly find their lives beginning to spiral downwards and out of control. There are many stats out there that would say that the majority of, I think it's now 1 out of every 5 Americans claims to be an atheist. Even if they live in a traditional Christian home, there is a rejection of that Christian identity.
And I've put together 3 examples for you in this video, and let's start with this one.
Essentially, is magic real? And someone asked me that question, and we had this discussion at home, and the topic came up, well, my friend didn't believe in magic, and they said, and I said to them, would you get cursed? If you don't believe in it, would you get cursed? And their answer was, no way. So that was interesting to me. And so that was kind of the origins of this idea, a cursed man. What would happen if someone put a curse on you? And so foolishly or not, I decided to go out there, find magical practitioners from around the world and ask them to put a curse on me.
A witch performed a ritual on me, and this is what happened.
Do you feel anything?
I don't feel the same way I did coming into the room as I do right now.
Do you feel? What do you feel?
I can't describe it. I just don't feel the same.
I do feel the energy, so they are here.
Yeah, I can definitely feel something. This was an experience.
After the ritual, she told me that it would take some time for it to work, which made me skeptical. But I wasn't the only skeptic around. Turns out she's married to a guy in marketing.
So you're married to a witch?
Yeah.
Which doesn't make you a wizard?
No.
No. Talk to me, how did you two meet?
We met online. She claims that she did some magic to find me.
Ah.
And it obviously backfired on her. So the skeptic in me says, how does that affect me? Yes, she lit the candle, she did the ritual to find me.
Yeah.
I was just on it looking for a partner.
Right.
Was it a case that what she did influenced me? I don't know.
Anyway, if people choose to pay for witchcraft in order to put something into the universe to help them get the outcome they want, well, who am I to judge? I guess it's just not for me.
2 years ago, I called all the witches on TikTok frauds. I said, your hexes and magic, it doesn't work, it's not real. It all begins when one witch from Mexico, a bruja, said that she could put a hex on me if she had some of my hair, nails, and a picture of me. So I mailed her everything, and her and all the other witches on TikTok conducted a ritual hexing me. I mean, we're talking like thousands of witches. I'm the most hexed man in the world, so if this is real, we're gonna find out.
And there was a case shared by Father Winston when I interviewed him last year. And try to relate the previous 3 examples with this one. Try and listen to this. It's a little bit long, but it's actually quite an interesting case.
We had a case of a monastery of Carmelites, who experienced spiritual attack here in the Philippines, where the monastery was infested. And prior to that, they did not have any experience at all. Then suddenly, they started to experience bizarre things that they could not understand what happened. And when we came to their place, at that time, their diocese did not have exorcists first. So they did not have their exorcist. So they asked the Archdiocese of Manila to assist them. So it's a nearby diocese in the Philippines, in Manila. And when we went to where the place is, we realized that we are in the trail of the occult practitioners, meaning there is a trail here in the Philippines, at least here in the NCR, where you have witch doctors and witches in the trail towns, starting from here, because people now would go to witch doctors for healing, for whatever ailment they may have, spiritual or physical. And you start with a certain town, and you get healed, and then you return back, and then you get sick again. So when you get sick, you return to the healer, but the healer will say that I can no longer heal you because this matter is a different thing. So I will refer you to this healer. So this referral thing makes you move from one healer to another, from one town to another, until you reach the town where the monastery is. So by the time, and each town that you go to, each healer in each town you go to heals you, but then you get worse. And so if you were passing 5 towns, 6 towns, 7 towns, it means that your sickness has been progressing. By the time you arrive at the last town, then you have really a strong ailment. What is the particular word there? You are in a worst case. You're in a worst case scenario now. So if you think that occult practitioners are, that the evil one has given them power, then it means that if you consulted and were healed by 10 occult practitioners, you have 10 evil spirits working on you. Okay. Now, why was that important? Was that background story important? Because the last town is where the monastery is. When the monastery was built, the business of the witch doctors lessened. So there are still those who go there, but it's not what it used to be. No longer a lucrative business. And the witch doctors understood it is because of the presence of the monastery. So what did they do? They tried to infiltrate the monastery, but they could not infiltrate it. How do they infiltrate a monastery? So what they did was to get a benefactor of the monastery to introduce an occult practitioner to the nuns. So this occult practitioner brought in infested religious Catholic objects, T-shirts. We saw this, T-shirts, undershirts, pictures of the Blessed Virgin Mary, pictures of our Lord Jesus Christ, prayers written on the shirt, Catholic prayers, Our Father, Hail Mary. But here on the shoulders were small words. We did not get to notice it. We did not get to notice it immediately. But when we saw it later on, it means that these were orations. These were bastardized Latins that were actually spells. And they gave the nuns these religious medallions, telling them, sister, use these medallions. These were blessed by 3 popes, John Paul, Benedict the 16th, and Pope Francis. And the nuns, well, thought that this was trustworthy. They brought in this medallion, and this person said, "Oh, you can bury them in your monastery grounds, in this place, in this place, in this." They did that, and the nuns were ignorant about this matter. They just trusted the person because it looks like a religious object, miraculous medal, Saint Benedict, etc., etc. So they accepted it. They brought it in the monastery, and the moment they brought it in the monastery, things started to happen in the monastery. The nuns started to get sick. They could not do perpetual adoration. That's part of their ministry. So so that's part of their ministry. They cannot do a 24-hour vigil before the Blessed Sacrament because the nuns are getting sick. So, and then getting sick, and then they started to see spirits, and the community started to fight. So they knew something was not from happy. There was something happening that they could not explain. So they came and they asked the exorcist, and we went, and that's what we discovered. So we asked, where are these medallions? And it was in the middle of the night when we arrived there, and they pointed to us where they have planted those medallions, and we got all of them. And afterwards, they showed to us the shirts. And we saw that there was this writings, and those were actually spells. That's why they're getting sick, and the nuns always feel pain on their shoulders, because the instruction of the occult practitioner was, sister, wear this as an undershirt for your habit, as a protection. But they never knew, because they only thought that it's Catholic prayers, image of the Lord, but there were actually spells written there. So we got all these things. The water that was given to them were water that was ritualized by an occult practitioner. So that's how it was, how these occult practitioners were able to infiltrate the monastery. So once we did that away, once we once more did a deliverance prayer on the place and sealed the place once more, then the manifestation stopped. And we told the nuns to never again accept any religious objects, or even food, or anything given to them without them first blessing the things, because you'll never know. So that question that you said was actually very relevant, because it tells us that monasteries have a particular role in protecting the place, because that is their prayer, their prayer, and their sacrifices, their penances for the whole church, especially in the place where they are. So when you ask if a monastery is destroyed, then, or abandoned, what happens? Well, you still continue with the Holy Mass. There are masses still in the parishes, in the chapels. They still continue, but you lose a powerhouse for the church in the locality. So yes, I believe that seminaries, monasteries, religious houses, and oratories, churches, because these are sacred places dedicated to the worship of the one true God, they exert a spiritual blanket over a particular place. And that is the reason why occult practitioners and evil persons and evil spirits will try to destroy those who are in there. Destroy monasteries and the nuns or the monks, the seminarians, the priests, even the bishopric. these are places dedicated to God, and the enemy hates this place. And if you have Catholic homes that are truly consecrated to God, they would also want to destroy that. Because if you destroy the Christian place, then you have evil spirits that would come in. So that is how paganism comes back, right? So I have other stories to tell, and sometimes you just can the questions that you say, yeah, that confirms that validates your observation or what you heard from what we have experienced.
That will be all for the video this time. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. And hopefully all of you have learned a lot from this video. Remember, if there's any feedback or suggestion, please let us know in the comments below. And until the next one, thanks again for watching and may God bless you.